So trigger warning, this video is quite dark, quite political, and there are mentions of violence and governments shooting on their own. Please be careful before watching this if those are things you think would upset you. In an apartment, whoops, not even that, an apartment above a London street, you are a protest coordinator. You are the crowd's eyes and ears. You monitor the news, the police, and the protesters from safety. You instruct individuals in nearby crowds using a secure messaging app. In the distance, several 100,000 people protest throughout the capital. You are just inside Westminster, where the police are enforcing a no-go zone. In the High Court of Justice at the centre of it all, Baron Sugar is currently being handed a verdict. Despite crystal clear evidence of election fraud, everyone is sure his party will be found innocent. If so, King Charles will ask him to form a government. If so, you're gonna burn the freaking house down. The medics finished building the aid station outside. Just in the nick of time, the crowd will be here in a minute. Just seen those 4 officers down the way figure it out and radio it in. They know we're coming now. God damn, I'm shaking, buzzing. It's real. Yeah man, too real. This many people? They can't ignore us. Sure, we'll be gone by this time tomorrow. Ida turns to observe you. And then? We get a fair election. Or we keep pushing demand complete reform. Ooh, options. Do you know what? Let's show our power. Addy smiles at you. A revolutionary. I spent a year sharing a very small room with a revolutionary. He came from Ukraine. His side won, but it got him flagged as a troublemaker by the new security service anyway. They came for him, so he fled here. Sugar's supporters aren't going anywhere for a long time. Whatever comes next they'd be on side for. There'll be no peace. You hear the crowd draw near. Anyway, they're here. You clear your throat, shrugging off Addy's challenge. Hi, what's up? Messages from the nearby crowd outside begin to appear on the laptop screen. You type a greeting. Red 5, standing by. I get it. There's counter-protesters. Just came out of a building on the far side of the road. Already? What the hell? I see 2 cricket bats. Some have England flags. Most are plainclothes, and they're all in good shape. Maybe police? How many? Oh. Ah, sugar, racist. 20 or so. Crap, what shall we do? Either tell our people to let them be, or run them off. There aren't many, but they might cause trouble. Ooh, okay, leave them alone, and which it's shown that the counter-protesters are more likely to use violent means, or run the counter-protesters off, which may trigger them to be more violent. Let's just shout over them. Alright, leave them be, don't escalate, got it. They're looking for trouble, best not to engage. Gotta let them be. What's happening, Addy? They're just milling around jeering. Some of your people up front holding the others back so there's no retaliation. Some of the plainer ones have drifted into the crowd. You begin hearing small clashes punctuate the crowd's passive hum. Ah, they're provocateurs. What? They've started throwing bottles and bricks from inside the crowd. Oh, that's bad. I'll see what I can do. God damn it. Oh. Oof, they've done the windows on a few cars, some apartments. Stop anyone throwing stuff. You'll hurt it. Shut it down. Oh god. Sorry, I'm just trying to get... There we go. We got some people in an aid tent with injuries from blast, I think. And here comes the cavalry. We got played. Cavalry? Yeah, the police are turning up. En masse, it looks like. They've formed a line. Crap, there's children in that crowd. Counter-protesters are bad enough. Can we de-escalate? A mate says they've seen a tank in Piccadilly. God damn. Getting cray. Police are advancing. Batons up. They're heading for the aid station. Crap, they're gonna tear it apart? A cab, let's mess them up. Difficult to say, but they're definitely headed for the medics. They mean business. We better keep them off the medics, right? What if things escalate? We've got no water, no bandages. If we charge them, it's exactly the optics they want. Of course. Your hands tremble. Police are headed for the first aid tent. They're gonna tear it apart. Is it worth the risk? Decide. Defend. Like, human barricade, if around it, surely then it's like assault if they do something, especially if you're doing it just peacefully. Stop them. Protect aid station. The crowd outside roars forward to meet the advancing police. Sounds of a clash soon follow. Well, it's done the trick. Is it bad? No, they're just defending themselves, slowly backing up. A man took a riot shield off one of the riot police. Pretty funny. Oh, they're in retreat. The crowd's emboldened though, giving chase. Okay, pull back now. I've told the crowd to let them go. Ones up front haven't got the message. Come on, cut it out, let them run away. Ah, crap. I can see it on the TV. They're taking an officer down. This is bad. You hear a deep metallic rumble approaching in the distance. Are they seriously getting a tank? A large vehicle. I can't see them yet. Told yous. It's tanks. They brought the military in. I gotta say, this doesn't feel like a very much English riot, because from what I've seen, the police tend to be more of a peaceful force in these kinds of things. Like, they stand at the edges. They don't tend to, you know, like, bring in tanks for protests. But then again, this is apparently a big one. Someone in the chat seems to think it's the military. Has anyone got eyes on the vehicles? What are they? Possibly military or just heavy police ordnance. It's bad news either way. Oh, they are actual tanks. Wow. Crap, didn't sign up for this. What the crap? The BBC just went off air. You quickly check other channels. Nothing is broadcasting. Does that mean they're gonna fight dirty? Like, because no one's looking now, they're gonna bomb and gun and stuff? Even on the satellite connection? No broadcasts on any of the UK channels. Jemima, yeah? The tanks are outside. And those counter-protesters from earlier who disappeared into the crowd? They've just come forward and crossed the police line. They just let them through? Yes. This is insane. This area's no good. I'll reroute the crowd back the other way. Addy turns his head and looks back down at the road. Nope, we're kettled. What? Behind us. What are we doing? While we were watching the tanks rolled up, they drove a line through the march way back there. Everyone on this road is blocked in. I'm sorry, Jem. I took my eye off the ball. We're surrounded. No alleys to escape, though? We're going forwards or back? We should keep moving forward. Not that I can see, not without smashing up the shop fronts and trying to find a way through the buildings. We don't have ground floor access to this side of the building. They can't get through here. Could march on, call the military's bluff, or charge backwards, hopefully break through the police and get away. Crap, they can't just sit there like ducks. We have to move now. Forward or back? Move ahead, because I don't like calling bluff, but I feel like that's there's no way they could do something without massive loss to human life, and then it's bigger than them at that point. Stay calm. Give them no reason to act up again. They're posturing. Don't engage them, just show that we're not scared. You give your collaborators a moment to spread the message in the crowd and things get moving again. I suppose. I'm not sure about this. I can see the tank commanders talking. They look nervous. We keep calm, they should. Well, tactically, if they actually wanted us to use those tanks, they'd have to keep the crowd at range, but they know they're losing that. They aren't going to blow up British... Seriously? The explosion rings in your ears. You slowly pick yourself up off the ground, surrounded by shards of glass. Addy? Yeah, here. Addy stirs. He's covered in cuts, shocked. They shot. They shot the tank? They fired. Help Addy. As you approach the window, you see the road outside is thick with dust. It's difficult to see. Addy is shaking. You take him by the arm and help him up. Thank you. You try to take shelter behind the desk. No, we have to get away from the window. I'm fine. You take cover behind the desk. What do we do now? Please tell my parents I love them. If I don't make it out, get us out, please. You could try to tell people to get into buildings. That won't be fast. They're going to fire those things near their own, right? So what if we charge the tanks, or at least charge the police in front of the tanks, render them useless? This is it, I suppose, but there's a lot of people out there. They can just fire past the front line. We should be out there. Ooh, options. Ooh. Okay, so on the one hand, it's the people's job. They might not necessarily actually want to be doing this, but it's their job and they'll be fired otherwise. Or they're potentially bad people who chose to enforce these actions knowing that there would be a loss to human life. Or damage people's no, we're rushing them. There's no other option, now or never. Close to the tanks, they can't fire. If they fire on their own, that's messed up. Let them arrest you. Get out alive. Okay. Alright. I can't believe they fired. Swarm them. It's done. The crowd roars forward a final time. Addy nods deep in thought. He pulls out his phone. Addy, are you okay? He thinks for a second. This is interrupted by tank fire and gunshots. Mobile internet is down. What the hell is happening out there? You check your phone. Are they trying to pretend this isn't happening? Is this a coup? Is this happened in another country? Because that's crazy. Are you getting messages on the laptop? Are you people getting these? I have satellite connection, so the laptop's still connected. You pause for a moment, wait for a response. Another tank round bursts outside. You're right, they've cut off. Tank's engines scream, now directly below. Then we're no use anymore. What's going on? Repelled the crowd back. Everyone's still in the street. Police lines passing directly outside just below us. Crap, it's my fault. Hold on, there's no bodies. No one's been hit? Some people have been hit. The medics have bandaged them, but I can't see anyone dead. The gunshots and tank fire. Blanks? Maybe. There's holes in the tarmac though. I think they fired the tanks at an empty road on purpose. There's barely any blood. Has it all been for show? Maybe so far. Addy, it's over. Let's go home. There's nothing we can do now. I'm going to climb down behind them. Do what? What could possibly do to get those people out of there? Nothing, I suppose, not directly. But these guys are taking orders. We can reach the higher ups. Look, you won't get another chance to turn people against them like this again. Someone should be filming this on their phone. Put it online, it'll go viral, I'm sure. Like, the government fired on its own people. Well, that's just insulting. The people's taxes paid for those weapons. We have to expose them. You ask yourself what Addy could mean, and instantly you figure it out. The satellite internet connection. Yes. Sporadic gunshots and cannon fire continue in the background. You want to film yourself standing up to them? I want you to film me standing up to them. You know the satellite link only works on the laptop, right? We have to use the laptop webcam. You consider for a moment. Explain it to me. They're not going to murder us, especially not whilst they're being broadcast. We'll start live streaming. I'll explain what's just happened. Then we climb down and challenge the line from behind, still rolling. People see them firing on the crowd. People see how they respond to us and whether with violence or intimidation. People feel like they're in it, right here, as adrenaline wanes. And unlike you, I don't get to walk away ever, no matter what I do. Sugar's people won't be happy until me and everyone like me are all in the ground. And I can't walk away because we put those people down there. What have suffragettes told us? Lives must be lost, otherwise the government doesn't listen. Unfortunately. I'm down there with you. I'll never stop you anyway. Addy smiles, embraces you. Let's do it. You pull up social media on the laptop, tag the movement's main account and start streaming the webcam. You pick up the laptop awkwardly and point at Addy, who removes a bit of tape over the camera. Good catch. He clears his throat and begins. I'm in Westminster. The military have just fired tank rounds into crowds of peaceful protesters. They began by infiltrating the crowd with officers who started rioting to justify using force against us. In response, police needlessly charged a first aid tent. When we defended it, this again justified escalation to them. They blocked off the crowd's exit and rolled the tanks ahead of us. When we responded by marching peacefully onwards, they got nervous, cut off the TV networks and mobile signal, then opened fire with the tank. The crowd tried to save themselves by approaching the tanks, but the army and police forced them back into range with gunfire. See for yourselves. You move to the window and pan the camera across the carnage. Addy then climbs out onto the window ledge nimbly. He shuffles down an old metal drain pipe and drops himself to street level. You drop the laptop down to him as gently as possible, then follow. You approach the line from behind. He opens his arms wide to show the enemy he's no threat. They notice you and several turn their weapons to Addy, clearly terrified. You fired tanks at a peaceful march. This country will never forgive what you did here today. Back down. The world is watching. The tank turret begins to spin towards him, lines up. From your position just behind him, the barrel is pointed right at the camera. They pause for a moment. You move in front of Addy now, recording the masked faces of the authorities. They can see comments popping up on screen. They yell at you to put the laptop down. A few officers lay down their weapons. A soldier removes his riot helmet to vomit. You point the camera back at Addy, tears on his face, terrified yet defiant. An officer grabs you from behind and you are arrested. Addy's defiance goes worldwide. There are riots in over 70 countries, decrying the treatment of migrants and failure of democracy in the UK. Call to action. The UK erupts. King Charles, the House of Lords and the government opposition step in to rewrite the UK constitution. Baron Sugar loses the next election by a nail-bitingly small margin. The movement is galvanised. Wow. Wow. I knew it would be something like this because, you know, I played the other games. But, yeah, I wasn't quite expecting the drama of this. It's really a crazy concept because I know there's a lot of stuff going on around the world right now, but being British and being from England, I've never seen our military behave this way, at least in living memory. So the thought that they would fire on peaceful protesters with everything that's going on in other countries as well just doesn't seem that crazy anymore. And that's really scary. But this game is really, really good, or I should say visual novel is really good. I recommend playing it yourself. Go through the different options, see what you get. But yeah, it really made me think because, yeah, I started this game thinking, no, from my comments, like, no, the military wouldn't do that. They wouldn't fire on their own. They wouldn't. But actually, we've shown that even though it's the public taxes and the public payment that actually funds the military, that funds their weapons, that funds the Houses of Parliament, how quickly do they turn against the people? But I hope you have a very lovely day. I hope you look after yourself and those around you, and if you are in a place where the situation like this is a reality for you, I hope you do your best to do your best, whatever that may be for you. So, I hope you have a very lovely day, and most importantly of all, you do you.